right. It's really an exciting evening. So welcome to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Get It Right with Atara Solutions is a webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. from January to November. And we are very excited to be seeing the end of season 7. We started this off in January 2025, and we have been on and on and on until sometime in November when we shall call it an end of the season. And we shall be together again, of course, next year when we shall be Get It Right Bigger and Better. And we are very excited to see the growth and to be impactful. And I hope the sessions have been meaningful to you. And I hope the sessions have been of importance to you as well. So we do this every Tuesday. I don't know whether my co-hosts are here. Richard and Catherine. Richard, I see your video is off. Do we give you a minute? But okay, there is Richard. So Richard, you can say hello.
Hello, I am going to avoid my video today because I'm sneezing a lot. I don't want it recorded. Richard Magoma here, and we really enjoyed our speaker during the Men in HR conference in Mombasa, and we laughed and we learned, and I am sure he's going to do the same job. This is Richard Magoma, HR professional, public speaker trainer, and interview preparation coach. Over to you, Grace.
Thank you. And of course, we have Catherine Sidandi. Catherine Sidandi is our sign language interpreter. She does an amazing job at making sure that we are inclusive, and we are really happy to have her and really honored to have her spare her time to actually just come and make us inclusive. Catherine, we appreciate you, and we really don't take it for granted that you do this with us. So, and of course, allow me to invite you to our job evaluation masterclass. This will be taking place on the 5th to 7th of November 2025, and it's going to be happening right here in Nairobi from 8 a.m. to 4 o'clock every day from 5th of November to 7th of November. That's 3 days. And we're going to be at Swiss Lanana Mount Hotel. And you will earn 6 CPD points. You will come and get to learn how to do job analysis, and you will also get to understand how to do job groups, come up with job groups for your organization, and of course, salary bands as well. So this is going to be an exciting time. So from 5th to 7th of November, all roads lead to Nairobi at the Swiss Lenana Mount Hotel, where we shall be having a conversation around job evaluations. And that is the plan we have. And of course, allow me to give a shout out to our partners. We have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions is our partner located in Kampala, Uganda. They are into job. If you're looking for somebody to help you recruit your board members, if you're looking for somebody who can support you train your board members, then Steadfast Quality Solutions are your people. It is headed by my good friend Herbert Zake. Herbert Zake is a Gallup certified strengths coach. So if you're looking for a coach as well, Herbert Zake is able to work with you. He has actually coached more than 500 executives. And then we have K2HR Services. K2HR Services are our partners in Rwanda. If you're looking for HR services in Rwanda, or you're looking for training around Rwanda, then K2HR Services are your people. And of course, we have Sotet Kinyumbani. Sotet Kinyumbani is a restaurant located in Nanyuki. If you're looking for a place to go for lunch or for dinner, for breakfast, if you're passing through Nanyuki and you're looking for a place to grab a meal, you can give them a call before you get there and you'll find your food ready. You can enjoy some sumptuous meals. And of course, we have Tufaha Resort. If you're looking for a luxurious place to take for your holiday, then Tufaha Resort as well, located in Nanyuki, would be the best people. And of course, we have Nile Front Cottages. Nilefront cottages are located in Kampala, Uganda, or rather Jinja, Uganda. You can take your vacation there as well. It is such an amazing place with the best, a place where you can get to enjoy both sunsets and sunrises. Such a gem, and it's really amazing to be there. And of course, we really are honored to have you tonight. And I'm very, very excited about this topic because your brokenness, your ability to make wealth, does not start with the amount of money you make. It starts from healing your wounds. And of course, we have one of the best people I know who would deliver such a conversation. And we have none other than F.A. George. He was actually my teacher. He taught me TPDK, for those of you who know. Yes. Pamela says they run deep and can damage financial intelligence. Sarah says the mistakes have previously made with money. Seth Shuano says they are real. Loy says, okay. Immaculate says you're live. Okay. I was reading. Okay. Josh says, we have suffered more than our enemies in money matters. Uh, never knew they exist. I can't wait. All right. So yes, they actually exist, and this is part of why we have this conversation so that we can probably create awareness. And I can see to our speaker, I think you have a lot of work in also coaching and counseling people when it comes to money matters, or rather money wounds. So with us tonight, we have F.A. George Oyuga, who is a Polish pension consultant with illustrious career that spans over 18 years. And he's a professional trainer who holds great passion for stakeholder capacity building. He's a senior trustee trainer at the TPDK Trustee Certification Program. He has held various senior roles in the financial service industries. He has served in large firms like Old Mutual, Wealth, and Zamara as manager and general manager, respectively. He's currently the director of retirement solutions at Kuza Asset Management. He's a licensed fund manager by both Capital Markets Authority and Retirement Benefits Authority. And he's equally passionate about blending financial and psychology, and is working towards becoming a qualified financial therapist. He's the author of the book Dancing with My Money, with the promise of more great titles loading. I cannot wait for the next version. So he's a certified, he's a financial counselor, which is very interesting. I didn't know we had financial counselors. Anyway, so George, tell us, how do we recover from these money wounds? Because please take it away.
Thank you very much, Grace, and good evening to all of you. Let me go on video just briefly as I do my introduction, and then I will request to go off so that I improve my transmission. Very good. So thank you very much for that well elaborate and concise introduction there. You have done it the way you normally do it. Always a pleasure to have you go before me. Thank you very, very much. I'm excited about the conversations this evening with our attendees and participants, and great comments coming in there in the chat box. Yeah, so I think the invite is well received. I can do the deep dive, and now with my video off, just so that I'm able to improve my transmission. I have a few people who are still invading my WhatsApp, asking me to share the link. I think I've directed them to check the poster and email you. So maybe on the side, you can be checking your email to see if there is someone there who is still knocking and wants to be let in. So I would want to have this conversation with some little assistance from some slides that I would want to share. I think the system allows me to do so. Can confirm for me if they are visible on your end?
Yes, they are.
Very, very good. Yeah, so great to have you, Catherine, as well. Thank you very much. You remind me that I am a sign language class dropout. I will go back to school soon. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, it's a great evening. I'm dialing in also from Mombasa. Just trying to also keep a tab with this conversation here. Money is universal. Money knows no culture. Money knows no gender. Money knows no feelings. So welcome to this conversation, and take this as your free financial therapy session or introduction to it, courtesy of Atara Solutions. So as we begin this conversation, I would want to mirror something that someone once said. But before I go to that, I think all of us who are here, I just want to first of all push you to the vulnerability corner. And in that corner, I would want you to confirm that what I'm saying here is true, that finance is taught in school, but money is not. Accepting this will be your first step towards financial healing. In therapy, we say the earlier you start becoming vulnerable, the better for you, because then you'll be able to access your healing much, much, much faster. But therapy is quite enjoyable. And why I say this is because if finance was the solution to most of our money wounds, we would have all the people who have studied finance being among the best to emulate in that particular space. But experience tells me that that is not the case per se. I've been in the space now, this is my 20th year in the financial services sector, and I can assure you that even in this short period that I have been doing financial therapy, I can assure you I have very, very many of my clients who are actually finance experts. So finance may be taught in school, but money is not. Money is a totally different field altogether. And so welcome to therapy this evening. And why I say this is because most of the time, many of us, even those who've not studied finance, will always paint a very, very good picture of who they are when it comes to money. So they will be talking about how good they are. They are talking about how many plans they have ahead. They are talking about all those things. But I assure you that we only talk when we are outside the pitch. We all think we are very good at managing money until we meet money. And money can be humbling. Money can actually make you, or money can break you. So today we would want to have less and less people fractured by money. And that is why we would want to have all of you, at least with this session, be able to pick something that somebody else somewhere may not have taught you in school. There's someone I came across when I was doing research and finding out a couple of things about my first book. The book is called Dance with My Money. Grace, by the way, updates. I have finished the second one as well. It's called Dance with My Pension. It will be launching soon. And who else to invite as the MC other than you? Anyway, we will talk on the side. Yeah, so this guy is called Frank Ocean. And Frank Ocean said, when people are happy, they enjoy the music. But when they are sad, they understand the lyrics. So if we were in a physical session, I would have taken a minute and paused and asked you, discuss. This statement may be true or taken as very, very true, especially in the love circles. But we know that even in the money circles, it is actually also very, very true. And it is true until the music stops. And that music can be your salary, that music can be your journey in life. That music can be when the person you are depending on, maybe things happen and they are no longer there. That music can actually also mean your retirement. And that music can come in very many forms. That music can actually also mean your retrenchment. It can mean your business failing. It can mean everything else. When people are happy, they enjoy the music. But when they are sad, they understand the lyrics. That is credit to Frank Ocean. And Frank Ocean says that, and I borrowed that phrase also into my Dance with My Money book, and I use it a lot for that. And why do I point at retirement? I said that I am in the retirement benefit sector. It's where we met with Grace as well, and Richard also. And when I looked at that particular phrase and looked at the journeys that I see many people go through in retirement, I actually concluded that it is in retirement most of the time when we pick the evidence of the fact that we really picked money wounds along the path really comes out. Why? Because instead of enjoying our retirement, instead of having those sunset years coming to be, most of the people I have seen, that time they sink into despair because they feel that the income replacement ratio they may have worked for or worked on is not at the level that is expected. It makes retirement a bit more painful. So it may not be the real space where the real money wounds began. So at times you project backwards and you look at your growth stage and you see where you are and you discover that, by the way, you will remember that at this particular point on growth stage, when you are earning, you are in your career is peaking, that's the time now you remember that, wow, you actually spent more time chasing flow sets and not assets. I think I need to pause there a bit and define the difference between those two. Flow sets, according to one George Oyuga, who is talking to you today, are those things that look like assets, but they are not assets because they do not make you any income. Assets, on the other hand, by definition, should actually be those items that you own, which also generate some income for you. So if you are to list some of the things that you've always thought were assets and you discover that they do not earn you anything, or they don't make you any money, they do not have any cash flows attached to them or mapped on them, then you're basically talking about flow sets. And flow sets, from my end, they would mirror some of the journeys that people have. When you look at some people and they actually would want to portray a picture of success, they will tell you the many, many things that they are chasing in life. I remember in my book there, I talked about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 formula that most people from where I come from like applying in life. And you'll discover that when they are actually looking at it as the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 formula, they do actually look at some things like, if you are in life and you feel that you have reached the epitome of success formula, then you are one person who is saying, I can tick the box that I have one wife. I can tick the box that I have 2 saloon cars. I can tick the box that I have 3 children. I can tick the box that I have a 4-wheel drive. I can tick the box that you have a 5-bedroom house. You can tick the box that you have some 6 plots of land somewhere in different locations. You can tick the box that you have a 7-digit salary, and we can continue and on and on and on until we get to cloud 9. That's when you look back and discover that all those things do not make you money. Those would actually become your content creation when you get to retirement, and you will remember that, by the way, this is where I wasted the journey most of the time. Growth does not come, or don't just get yourself there, but actually it becomes your norm when you actually get into the dance floor to now get into the music of your earnings dance. The music of your earnings dance will, of course, mirror the earnings you got, the salary, the job, any income you get, even if it is from your business or whatever gig you do, that money coming into your hands will actually mirror your earnings stage. And at times we pick wounds there as well. We pick wounds there because when we find ourselves in a cycle where we are earning, and what we are earning appears like it is an Olympic shilling, which comes, hops, steps, and jumps out of our account just to record that it passed through there, then definitely it means that even our earnings dance is not really leading us to success. And that way, then we get to a point whereby we do not feature that. And then we look closely, maybe it is because we entered that stage with wounds that were picked from our dependency stage. This is our early life stage when we bottled certain economic desires which we felt were out of our reach because we were depending on somebody else. We were depending on someone else to meet our financial needs. We were not earning by that time. So when you stretch all these conversations, you discover that right when we were young, we actually started bottling what I would call economic desires, or things that we felt and promised ourselves that one day when we start getting our own money, these are the boxes that we are going to tick. And we do that a lot. Some people do not see this clearly until you actually pause and look back and ask yourself, by the way, how did I spend my first salary? Well, for those who may not have earned or may have just been in business and you've never, how did you spend the first lump sum amount you got? Or mirror, picture that young child you are, and you are at home entertaining visitors, and then one of your uncles or visitors or aunties takes some 200 shillings and puts into your hand. The economic desires that you have will actually lead you straight to the shop that is next to your home. And that day, the shopkeeper will know that you are in the village because of the amount of shopping you will do on things that do not, of course, make sense, but just to reduce the monies back to manageable levels. We get there. Many of us, we get there. We find ourselves there when even on when we review how we handled our lump sum monies at some point. You got a lump sum either paid from your work environment or a bonus that was paid. Look at how you handled it. It actually just unearthed many of those economic desires that had been suppressed. There's one psychologist I respect very much. His name is Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud talks about the psychodynamic approach, and he looks back and says that, by the way, when you look back and drill down to your early years, you actually find that the human mind or the human mindset is actually like a submerged iceberg, meaning that we have so many things that are in us, the ego, the things that really define our personalities. A bigger chunk of it is what is submerged underneath the waters. It cannot be seen. So if I use the psychodynamic approach, then I am drilling down to those lingering desires that are there from your younger years. You may not know them, but because we are all products of nature and nurture, you can actually look back and you can be able to see that, yes, I was brought up in lack, and that is why I either adopted an abundant mentality or a scarcity mentality that is defining how I approach life today. Those lingering desires from our younger years are our submerged earnings that start manifesting the moment we start getting some little money. They do come, yes, and they are like in our childhood financial experiences, and they are shaping our desires today. They are defining the dreams that we have today, and they actually come in and they are loaded with our past money wounds. The things we lacked, we want to score that today. We have so many who are today what I would call wounded parents. You are trying to live the life you missed in the children you are raising today. So you either become overcompensating, or you become overprotective, or you become this very mean parents, just mirroring some of the pains you had. Your child tells you, could you take us to the, you are like, you keep referencing, during our times, we used to walk 15 kilometers. So what is 5 for you? Walk. Your pain is speaking. During our time, we used to take tea without milk. You are here and you're talking about there is no enough milk. What do you mean? Take. So you find that the pain in you keeps on responding to all the situations, all the experiences, all the challenges that are there. I know the kids we are raising today, some of them are so bold, they will be telling you things like, no, you, and that's a dad and a child talking. Then your child tells you that, Dad, you walked, you did all those things because your father was poor. Mine is not poor. And that is your child talking to you, telling you live that, no, me, my father is not poor. Your father was poor. That is why you went through all that. So you are there and you are like, wait a minute, there's a difference between some of us who went to school in groups, and now you are struggling because of that pain in you. You'd want to allow the healing to be seen happening in your child. So instead of your child going to school in groups like you did, you are struggling so hard to have them go to a group of schools. You would like to show off some things, the way we say that when a man walks into some space where other people are, you are either parking something on the parking lot or you're parking something on the table. As in, if it's not the phone, then it is the car. And so when you go shopping, you find yourself maybe buying a camera that can make calls and not necessarily a phone that can take photos. Childhood money wounds speaking up. And they are there and they manifest in various ways. We see them in your talks. We see them in your walk. We see them in the way you carry yourself around. Your current cravings today around the things you want. That is why you can't even settle on one job. You're changing jobs not because it is a pull. You're being attracted by the other place you are going. No, you're changing jobs because it is a push from where you currently are. So at times you are in a workplace and someone just resigns and you're wondering, by the way, what's wrong with this person? I thought they were earning a lot. I thought all those things. No, much is relative. And success is not in how much somebody earns. Success is in how they manage the much or the little that comes into their hands. That's one thing I've come to appreciate, that it is not the how much that we earn, it is how we manage the little that comes into our hands. But our current cravings at times overwhelm us. So those are the things that we are seeing now in therapy. Are we able to actually uproot them, And that's where, yes, as a student of psychology, I still fold some of the things I see or experience in our education journeys. We have so many people who are taken through personality tests, but I have a problem when the personality test does not stir in you the need to change, but instead it suits you to accept yourself the way you are into some self-acceptance position. I would rather it desires to change you. I would rather it identifies, helps you see who you are. That is self-awareness. Like what we do in therapy, it's self-awareness. Once we bring you to that particular point, then we make you be able to desire to be the best, desire to be different in a good way. So accepting that, no, that is how I am. No, 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 that is me. No, we are saying don't do that. Yes, come the way you are, but once you are here, don't stay the way you came. John Maxwell in Leadership says, and he defines leadership in a very simple way that at times I love. I know there are so many definitions of leadership, but when it comes to self-leadership, he is saying that a leadership is taking people from here to there. So in therapy, we help you define you are there. Because if you know you are there, then now you will know that there's a difference between you are here and there, and therefore there's something you need to work on to be able to get yourself to that next level. So as these economic desires manifest on a day-to-day basis, as they manifest in your money dance on a monthly basis and the like, definitely, if they are not dealt with, then your struggle with the 10,000 shillings will still appear when you are getting 100,000 shillings. He who is faithful with little will be faithful with much. The same is also happen. He who is unfaithful with little will be unfaithful with much. So where you are today, are you a product of nature or are you a product of nurture? I believe most of us, we are a blend of both. And so when we have those deep economic yearnings, at times we live a life of blame. You find someone who is already over 30 years old still telling you that I come from a poor background. Friends, let me tell you tonight that the moment you are 30 years old, you are the background. So that narrative of I come from a poor background is over. You are the background. So you better build a background so that as we continue, then you are somewhere that we can be able to help you. So the people I've sat with, so many of them, one of the things that I've come to conclude is that you see them in the way someone is trying to define their adult goals. So these adult goals actually secretly mirror these past money wounds. And so someone may be having a lot of money, but at the end of the day, they still complain, they still feel that they are actually facing financial stagnation. So the echo of these past money wounds can be seen in our adult goals at times, the things we chase, the things we do. Looking at some of the ills even in our society today, we know that we are struggling with the things like corruption, for example. I look at those people who get listed on corruption, who get accused on corruption as simply they are financial therapy patients. Because you cannot explain some levels of greed that you see around. It simply just tells you that this person's background has a lot of scarcity mentality. This person's background has a lot of unsatisfied, quenched economic yearning, such that when they get to the space of abundance, the space where they can utilize their office, abuse of office is what you will be able to see, witness, and experience. So it's about therapy. Maybe therapy would be the antidote for corruption. Because you ask yourself, we have become immune to certain figures being mentioned around corruption. For example, someone tells you that nowadays you don't blink when you hear that $1 billion has been stolen. But what is 1 billion in reality? Friends, $1 billion is wake up every day take 100,000 Kenya shillings. For our colleagues who are joining in from Uganda and Rwanda and elsewhere, maybe you may struggle with some of these, but you can do your quick calculations in terms of the exchange rates. 1 billion Kenya shillings is wake up every day, take 100,000 Kenya shillings, walk out there with it, blow it, come back in the evening without any change or balance, take another batch the following morning, go out there, blow it. Do that on day 3, do that for a week, do that for a month, continue doing that for a period of 27 years. That is when you will finish 1 billion. And that is only if the balance you've not touched is not placed in a space where it earns even a single percentage in terms of interest. If it earns some interest, then you will never catch up with it. Then you hear the amount of money someone is taking or stealing or has gotten lost, and you wonder, what's wrong with people? We need more therapy rooms to accommodate some of these guys, not jails per se. So people still face financial stagnation. And as I said earlier on, success is not in how much you earn. Success is not in how much money you have. Success is simply in how you manage this little that comes to your hands. And that is where past money wounds, when they are healed, financial injuries, when they are nursed, then you actually get to a point whereby you can get a breakthrough. And that is what therapy would do for you. Therapy comes and identifies this thing that would otherwise eat you up, this thing that would otherwise destroy you. How can we be able to nurture it? How can we be able to control it through self-awareness, bring you to explore its psychoanalytic roots, get you to a point whereby we can acknowledge these roots, we can acknowledge the wounds, we can acknowledge the past traumas, we can psychoeducate you, get you to a point whereby you accept that, by the way, this is how I am, but this is not how I want to stay. This is not how I want to be. So once we are able to shape all those things, work out from there, get to a point whereby we can be able to address those injuries. Once we address those injuries, then we get you to understanding where you are, what you need to do next. And what could have actually eaten the tree down ends up becoming another beautiful butterfly that is of an improved money dance. Because you come out of that space with a financial action plan, things that can define you. So in the model that I use, I call it the dance model. In this dance model, I use a concept called the wiser concept. And this wiser concept says that we can build up to the tower of wealth, because wealth is what we desire. Wealth is what we know can sustain and be met by other generations, not riches. Riches are very, very loud. Most of the time, they just expire. But wealth is where you know. You know, someone said that there's this verse that talks about Proverbs 13. It says, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his grandchildren or his children's children. And you get to a point whereby you ask yourself, if I am struggling between this end month and the next end month, how will I manage to actually leave something for my grandchildren? Will I ever get to a point where I can actually achieve the definition of a wise man? If by the 15th of the next month, I look at the money left and the month left, and I discover that I have more month left than the money, will I ever become a wise man? So this model builds this conversation slowly by slowly, beginning with the revenue relationships. So it identifies the fact that from revenue relationships, Once they are built and they are built very well, they can get you to start some earnings. Those earnings, and I'm not saying salary per se, I'm just saying earnings, because the revenue relationships can be employee-employer, the revenue relationships can be a businessman, a businesswoman, and their clients. And once that relationship is built, where in that space we are able to nurture you, to be able to say that, why is it that you miss most of these relationships being sealed? Could it be a presentation issue? Could it be your qualifications? Could it be the way you portray yourself? Could it be that you need some coaching even on how to hack an interview? Could it be that you do not know how to pitch? Could it be that it is a presentation problem? Could it be that you do not see opportunities where they are? Revenue relationships. And we handle that. And you come out, your personality comes out, everything about you comes out. Why aren't you able to keep such opportunities when they come your way? You've done very well. They build a platform for earnings. So when the earnings start coming, a new relationship is required of you where you're relating you and the earning. So if your dance with the earning is a good dance, then at the end of the month, you will have some money left, of course. And we also encourage that, because we do not trust ourselves so much. Most of the time, if you really want to achieve some savings, save before you start spending. We are our worst enemies when it comes to money. So you have some savings, then the savings gets to a point whereby there's a threshold you need to target, which is called the emergency fund, 6 times your monthly earnings. Once you've scored on that, you will start now thinking about investments. And then in the investment arena, that dance floor now introduces a new dancer, and this new dancer is your assets. So if you build floor sets, they will not dance. But if you build assets, then they will dance. And the assets will start giving you some income. That is where I talk about what I call the docket principle. Docket principle is to say that it doesn't have to be me consistently chucking 100,000 shillings to pay for my medical insurance. I can actually transfer that burden to an asset, and the asset here will be a financial asset, and this financial asset will simply do what? Get itself to 1 million, be somewhere where it can get me 10% per annum. If I build that and I don't touch that 1 million, I can assure you my medical premiums will be paid for the rest of the period ahead. So are you able to build dockets for some of the things that you know are recurring? In your life? Grace, am I still on?
Absolutely. I thought you were pausing for effect, because I was already starting to think, have I built my money how?
Am I still on?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are.
Good. Nice. Thank you, Richard. Thank you. Great, great. You know, with online, you have to keep checking whether the other people are there. Otherwise, you can talk to your screen alone. Luckily, you will not have someone to laugh at you, because you will not know.
We are here.
Okay, so the wiser concepts. Thank you very much. The wiser concepts build this conversation in a journey of 5 different dance floors. The first one there is the relationships dance. So here we say that the quality of business relationships that you are able to establish will help create the opportunities for you to earn, and these opportunities will then either directly or indirectly impact you in one way or another, because it is important to be busy in business, not just busy. We have so many people who are just busy, but they are not in business. So you're going to be able to analyze that, analyze your space, your dance floor on the relationships dance floor, and see, by the way, this is how I relate. This is what I do. This is your self-appraisal. You get to a point whereby you are able to understand who you are, understand your temperaments, understand your capacities for building relationships. It comes with coaching. It coaches you on some of your strengths and the things. Then you get yourself to the earnings dance. The earnings dance floor, here it is, how do you manage the amounts that you have? We said money respects no culture, respects no religion, respects no gender, but money appreciates feelings. That is why even the Bible talks about the love of money being the root of all evil. So that means that there's a possibility that love can transition there in the middle. So this earnings dance will help you be able to help you propel yourself. Otherwise, you will just be hypnotized by the earnings cycle. And this is where we introduce tools like a budget tool. Are you able to say, whenever I get my money, I am able to channel it this way so that I know where my money is going. I direct it to where it should go. Because otherwise, if I don't do that, then I will be tracing where it went. Those are two professions in one person. If you are your money manager, you direct it to where it is going, you are your own financial manager. But if you are the kind of person who comes to trace where it went, then you are simply your own personal auditor. So choose whether you want to be your auditor or you want to be your manager. The manager traces, the manager directs where it goes, the auditor traces where it went. Oh, I woke up this day, early in the morning, I had 1,000 shillings. Where has it gone? Oh, I did it. And that is an auditor speaking. But the finance manager wakes up in the morning and knows that this is what will go here, this one will go here, and this one will go here. That is the kind of person we want to build, managers, not auditors. My apologies to any auditor professional in the room. I did not mean to portray you in bad light, lest something be thrown at me. I love you. You help us a lot. It is only in this context that that difference came out. So auditors, forgive me. The third dance floor there is the savings floor. So here we say that if you were to save monies, and you know in savings, your concern should be on the safety of where you're putting your money. Your concern should be on the product you are putting your money into. How is the governance space there? How is the access? Can I get the money whenever I want to? What is the cost of this platform? And what is the earnings that I'll get? Just to help my money not lose its purchasing power, because we know inflation, and inflation, of course, definitely erodes power. So that will be your key concern. If people work with this space model where you are checking safety is only in regulations, nobody can promise you safety elsewhere. If you're checking the product governance, you are understanding exactly the space you are going into. If you want to put your money in a bank, you know very well that safety there would start with checking whether this bank is registered by the regulator. In Kenya, we have the Central Bank of Kenya. If you're putting your money in a money market fund, you are checking with Capital Markets Authority. If you're putting your money in a SACCO, you're checking with the SASRA. I'm giving the Kenya examples. If you're putting your money in something that looks like an insurance solution or an insurance policy, then you're checking with the Insurance Regulatory Authority. Every space has someone who is taking charge of it. There is a regulator. And you have to know that is where S stands for space. If you ask that as your first question, you would never find yourself in certain dubious investment arrangements, like those people who became quail farmers without knowing. The things we have seen in Kenya, my friend. We can write books. Those who found themselves in pyramid schemes, is S was your first question. Safety, who is the regulator? Then P, understand the product governance or the product or the solution itself. Does the regulator know it exists? Is there something like that? A for access, C for cost, E for earnings. The problem with most of us is that we normally start that conversation with the E. So how much will I make? And how much will I be required to pay? And then you go to A. Oh, and if I need my money, how much do I have? When can I get my money when I want it? And then now that's the time you're getting to P now to understand, oh, by the way, this thing we are investing in, what is it? My dear good friends, by the time you get to S in Kenya, it translates not to say from safety, it now translates to something, a phrase, not one word. The other word I was giving you was safety. Now it becomes serikali saidia. Our colleagues from abroad, you can find out what that means. Serikali saidia becomes your S if you begin this space model from the E going upwards. So we want you to be left holding value because your purchasing power has been preserved. We don't want you to get to a point whereby you're crying and yet you're still just on the savings dance floor. Then you get to the investment dance floor. In that dance floor now, we slow you down a bit because we want to usher a new dancer. And this dancer is called your assets. So they are coming in and they would want to now take over the dance. So if you accumulated flow sets, this is the time we call that matures. This is the time now you wonder how you can survive to the next level. Then from the investment dance floor, then you get to the wealth dance floor. The wealth dance floor is so good because now it's about wealth accumulation, protection, and distribution. And we still help you there, craft some certain solutions that can help you, because here you are, for example, and I would want to take this example very fast, that you are here, you are very, very busy educating your children, sending them abroad. They are going there, they are experiencing systems that are working. So definitely one of the things they swear is that they will settle there. And you are busy here buying plots and naming plots after them, thinking that they will come back and settle on these plots. And you know, the day you are not there, they will do that thing that you are avoiding to do today. They will sell that plot and liquidate it. So you better would have just known early to do what? To actually plan to pass a liquid inheritance to them. And there's a very nice solution called whole life insurance. If you do that, pay up to a certain age, maybe 15 years, and then after that, stop paying, but the cover remains for the rest of your life. You have already resigned to the fact that this is not money that will help me when I'm alive. It is money that will help my next of kin. These are some of the ways that you can be able to achieve Proverbs 13 with. Because nowadays we normally say that if you didn't go to a group of schools, stop blaming your parents. No, it is your grandparent who did not see that verse, not your parent. A wise man leaves an inheritance for a grandchild. So if your child does not go to a group of schools, blame your father. If you did early. So here we are, you are busy. You can't make ends meet alone today. Month cannot, the shilling you earned in September cannot meet with the shilling you earned in October. You will earn in October and high five in the bank account. Because for you, the money dance is so poor, money does not meet. That verse will be very hard for you to fulfill. So these 5 dance floors will be the therapy season. And that therapy season definitely gets you somewhere. You'll be able to get yourself to appreciate some of the things that you see. You'll be able to experience self-awareness, enable a business mindset. Abundance mentality becomes your portion. Culture change, for example. When you are stuck in professional identity crisis, we reactivate your growth and get you somewhere where we can be able to use theories like uh, uh, within self-awareness, theories like cognitive behavioral therapy, where we are looking at your thoughts, we are looking at your emotions, your behaviors. We are trying to create something new around that, and we get you, by the way, to the next level. In that earnings, we said that here, if you're busy throughout but not in business, we will change that. We will help you maximize on your top line. How are you able to then look at also your expense line? See how you are spending, your spending habits. See what is it that is driving you. If it is pain, those money ones that are driving you, by the way, you will still spend, see yourself spending. I've heard of people who say that when they are mad, they just go shopping. Money won't speaking. Anyway, we are all different, and all those things do come our way. But in your earnings, I think something very profound there is that a fool and his money are soon parted. And I think we see that cycle a lot every month. And we can try as much as possible to change that, because we said success is not pegged on how much you earn, but on how you manage the little that falls into your hands. And remember, money follows mastery. If you're able to reskill, upskill, repitch, know the times, most of the time, you'll actually find yourself somewhere where you are doing something much, much, much better. And you know, in the dance of your savings, if you have accumulated flossets and not assets, please, 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 if there is a prescription you can work with from this therapy room, is try, go and change that picture, so that you are not so much flosset heavy, but you are actually asset heavy. Because if you don't do that, then you are headed to a direction that we call, you will be asset rich, but cash poor. And that is not where you'd want to be in retirement. If you're trapped in debt, there's someone who said that when you discover that you've boarded the wrong bus, the longer you take to alight, the more expensive your return trip will be. And stop digging. If you find yourself in a pit, stop digging. That would be the reality check that we'd want to give you. So from this session, are you going to be making money decisions or financial decisions? That's the big question. Because when you make money decisions, they open you up to money wounds, and then they open you up to financial injuries. But when you curate all that and you're able to make now real financial decisions, then definitely you will start operating like an institution and things will be okay. Grace, I would like to stop there. Maybe a few minutes, take a few questions here and there, and then we see how we can be able to help any queries that are there.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. George, it's always a pleasure listening to you. And I cannot wait for us to launch the retirement dance as well. I was just reading on the comments and I have laughed. I don't know, Richard, whether you're with me, but I have really, really laughed. There's one that I saw that was very, very interesting. That instead of saving money, money is saving them. Anyway, so you are welcome to ask your questions. I'm trying to see. There's a question by Benjamin who said, most investments, every investment manager, whether MMF, SF, bank rate, stock, etc., these guys know that there is no investment that is risk-free. How do you balance safety and the reality that no investment has 100% firewall on risk?
Okay, can I take that?
Yes, kindly.
Very, very good. Thank you very much. And Benjamin has asked a very, very good question there. Yeah, that speaks to some of the English that most investment managers do like putting forth. Now, when we discuss all these things we interact with, you've talked about MMF, you've talked about the bank, the rates, the stock, and all that. One of the things I would want to appreciate is the fact that there's a difference between a savings instrument and an investment. I like drawing that line. It is a very thin line between the two based on many people's interactions out there. But I like drawing that line to say that when I am saving, my concern is around safety and preserving the purchasing power of the money that I am putting aside. But when I am investing, my concern is about growth. My concern is about revenues, cash flows coming in, and I onboard something called risk. So when the fund manager tells you that whatever you're going into, by the way, is risk, but the beauty of it is that when they are holding your hand, you are taking calculated risk. If you've ever gone for a hike, most of the time visiting a place you've never been before, you always love to have a guide. You want someone who can tell you that there's a difference between the path, the footpath, and the animal path. You need to know that difference. Otherwise, if you just go alone, like today, I normally say that, how sophisticated is my research as a person to a point whereby I can make those very good and quickly timely decisions around stocks? I cannot beat the fund manager when it comes to the research. So I'd rather give them the work to do. Mine is to ask them, do you have a fund that invests in those stocks so that I can invest in your fund? Then you do the research and the like, because most of us, the much we know about investments, for example, is what we call the remote controlled research. We do it with a remote control in the TV in the evening, or the newspaper tomorrow morning. By the time I'm reading the newspaper tomorrow morning, I am reading the footprints of how people moved yesterday. That means even if I wake up and say, I am now going to implement this, I'll be doing a boarding bus number 2. So draw a line between what is savings and what is investments. Money market funds, those are savings. Because when you look at the risk, really, it isn't there. You're simply getting your money to preserve its value through the return that you are getting. So don't even push for very, very high. No, whatever something is higher and above inflation, you should be somewhere there as you think about it. Then build that. Get your emergency fund 3 times your monthly earnings. No, 6 times your monthly earnings. Once you achieve that, then now start exploring investments. In investments, risk starts speaking. Back to you, Grace.
That's very true. That's very true. I see my friend Mastermind is saying we need more of these sessions. I agree, we do. Lawrence Kiganda is saying talk about bonds. Lawrence, I'm gonna send you to our YouTube channel. It's called Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and you can check out a session we did with Bob Karina about bonds. Technically, the whole session was about bonds and treasury bills. You can check that out. And Robbie Mwita is saying kindly share the recording. We will share our slides. We will share the recording on our WhatsApp group, and it will also be uploaded on our YouTube channel. Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. And when is the best time to borrow a loan for investment, or is borrowing a myth? George?
Can you hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah, the mistake number 1 would be to borrow to invest. Do not borrow to invest. You saw my model there. It said you make a relationship that earns you money. Once you earn the money, you save. then from the savings now invest. So do not borrow to invest, because when you borrow, that money comes to you at a cost. That cost is what people call interest. And I keep saying, please don't call it interest, because it is not in your interest. You will start by, first of all, working for the lender and fulfill scripture, because scripture says the borrower is at the mercy of the lender. So if you borrowed and the cost of borrowing there was 12%, it means that the first 12% you earn will belong to the lender, not you. So don't borrow to invest.
Okay.
I
And
hope that answers
somebody,
the question.
yes. Paul, people are asking for the WhatsApp group, if you can share that. Where is the other one? Does the habit of piling up money, just piling money and just multiplying money without any future goal, is it just to have an arsenal of money? Does it reflect on financially wounded person?
Yeah, I think the answer is those are signs and symptoms of someone who is financially wounded, because there is some safety they get. It's like the same person who builds a wall, a very large wall around their house. It just tells you that there is some level of insecurity that happens. I said the target for you should be around 6 months your monthly earnings. Once you savings threshold. Once you do that, then get yourself to the next level. The next level now is investments. Start exploring what you can invest in. Of course, it comes with risks, but calculated risks are okay if you allow yourself to be handheld by a professional, in this case, a fund manager. So those are symptoms as well of money wounds.
Richard?
Thank you very much. I thought that people are not going to laugh, but they have laughed, but they have understood what you are saying. And we have laughed because we are pitying ourselves, because I'm sure that we have a lot of pain, and we need very stretched classes so that we can go to understand these wounds that we have, so that we cannot continue digging the holes that we are in. Thank you very much, George, for finding time. And God bless. I am unable to ask a question because I'm wounded.
I hear you, Richard. I hear your struggles. May you get well quickly. I hope you're on lemon and ginger. This mixture of cold and hot is not doing you justice. Pole sana. And get well soon. Right. So I think we may have. There's one question I wanted to ask George. So there are people who are afraid of investments. They have the money, they know what they need to do, but they're not just doing it. What is the one thing that you can tell them, or what is the one statement, or how can we support?
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I think I said when you get to investments, the conversation changes. And investments, if you have a good person who can handhold you, some of the things they'll be able to match for you would be whether you are objective and your horizon, meaning the time you have or the length of time you can afford to still be in that investment matches your needs or profile. And then the other thing again would be risk appetite. So if one is able to balance these three things, horizon, objective, and risk, then they will guide you towards the right investment for you. That's why I said don't destroy your brain cells over some things that you have guides who can lead you to do. Use them. They are licensed for that. They are existing for that, so that they are able to help you get yourself there.
Okay. Okay. All right, good people. I know we can be here all day, and I know we are hitting the right buttons today, which is very, very exciting for me because that is part of why we have these conversations. And this is where you actually get it right. The biggest challenge is thinking that we have to work hard to invest so as to get what we to save. As such, we get to borrowing to invest. I hear you. And Jackie, you can also go and read about Kibe this gentleman who saved 100 bob every day and made a difference in his own life. Hi, Grace and Richie. Barnabas here. It's been a minute, but a quick one. We are on Mental Health Month, and I was wondering, can I have a side chat with the speaker to give financial for our company? Of course, you can have a conversation with George, and it will come at cost. I can tell you that. He's not okay. Let me stop saying that. Nisijome, but yes, you can have a conversation with George, and you can decide how to heal your people. I think it's a timely conversation for all of us. So yes, how do we plug in for the next session? Join our WhatsApp group. We'll let you know, and you can follow our socials. And before we say that, allow me to ask a very especially for the retirement session. Yes. We have had a number of retirement sessions. You can check on our YouTube channel. We've had a couple of investment conversations. And of course, please get a hold of George's book, Dance with Your Money. I think that is, first of all, everyone on this call, please grab a copy. George, as you give us your parting shot, where do we get this book?
Thank you, Grace, and thank you all for tuning in. The book is available at Nuria bookstores, Moy Avenue, Bazaar Building, first floor.
Okay.
Yep. And then my parting shot will be the phrase, when people are happy, they enjoy the music, but when they are sad, they understand the lyrics. The essence of all these conversations is to help you understand the lyrics while you are still happy. Therefore, please dance with us.
Absolutely. Wow, I missed out on a few questions. Money has no emotions. However, we mostly make emotional decisions. How do we manage that? Do you want to quickly answer that, George?
Yes, money has no emotions, but we make emotional decisions, and those are the decisions that I'm calling money decisions. When emotions come into place, then it means that at times we seal and become numb to what is financially right. That's why you'll have somebody out of emotions can actually put the entire school fees and rent on a pledge or on a bet. And then you wonder what's wrong with this person. They'll sober up later. But what we are saying today is that if you have tools to guide you, then whether you have emotions or not, the tool will always bring you back to shape. This is a tool like a budgeting tool, and at times they do really help people. That one I think I know.
And I have people saying that you would rather borrow. This building up may take forever. It may not be realistic. I don't know what your comment is. But the savings can take years and years, surely. I'd rather borrow, repay the interest, than proceed.
There are two finances in life. One is money, the other one is time. So whoever said time is money was not wrong. That's why in prison, someone is either fined or they actually spend time to make good whatever it is that they did. So this person who is saying I'd rather borrow and the like, they are actually going to spend twice, because the expense of borrowing, and there they should look at the cost of borrowing, not necessarily interest. I said that thing you call interest is not in your interest, therefore call it cost of borrowing. Why enslave yourself and make yourself someone else's worker first before you even earn? And most of the time, let me tell you the truth, how expensive are loans today? If you're not borrowing from the SACCO, and the SACCO would give you around maybe 12% as the cost of borrowing, the banks would do upwards of 16 and the like. Which investment space will make you invest the money you've borrowed at 16? So you will either be investing in a space that is pushing you to earn more than 16%, because otherwise you'll have been busy but not in business. So that's why we are saying that try as much as possible not to invest borrowed money. If things go wrong because you're pushing yourself to higher interest rates, you have double to pay. You have the lender to pay, and you also have yourself to heal, because you've lost money that was not yours. Even the guy in the parable of the talents in the Bible, hakukula capital, he did not lose capital. Remember, when the master came back, the one talent was intact. So why do you want to lose yours? Do not invest borrowed money. Try and save towards it. When you save towards that, your savings will also accelerate your earnings and building your wealth, because you're taking advantage of compound interest. You're making advantage of something. Someone said, by the way, that compound interest is everywhere. You're either earning it or paying it. So choose your WhatsApp group.
That's true. Even those who wish to take loans, they're compounding the interest, which is fine. Yeah. So thank you very much. Also, you are saying that the other WhatsApp group is full. Paul has shared another one. You can join the other one, and you can get to keep up with what we are discussing here. So with that solutions where you choose to get it right. And I hope that tonight, starting tonight going forward, you will get it right financially. Financially, you will get it right going forward. So, and thank you very much for making the time to be here. I hope the session was impactful. Thank you very much, George, for saying yes and for being with us. And we really don't take it for granted. Of course, thank you, Richard. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, entire team at Atara Solutions. We cannot do this without you. And of course, to you, our audience, we really, really are grateful for joining us every other Tuesday, for choosing to be with Atara Solutions. And I hope that for those who've joined us for the first time, please go to our YouTube channel. There's a lot. We've done a session with Rina Hicks. We've done a session with Bob Karina. We've done a session with Fred Waswa. We've done a session with, who else did we do? We have a session here with George Oyuga, and quite a number of conversations around money as well, and other conversations that affect employers and employees. We are on a mission to change the world through information, and I hope that these sessions are helpful for you, and that you not only hear, but you also become doers of the word. Pauline Magadi, text me. I'll send it to you on your WhatsApp. I think you have my number. And George has also shared the list of where you can get the documents. And yes, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Our YouTube channel, again, is Get It Right with Atara Solutions. Kindly subscribe. That's where we put up most all our recordings. And of course, follow us on Instagram, Atara Solutions. Like our Facebook page, Atara Solutions. Connect with us on LinkedIn, Atara Solutions. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And of course, if you're in our WhatsApp groups, a lot of trainings are shared there. So you don't have to just listen to ours. They're quite a number. But of course, every Tuesday, 8 o'clock, we are here. And of course, join us for the Job Evaluation Masterclass. We will be offering in November from 5th to 7th. It's a 3-day course that will be held at Swiss Del Nana Mount Hotel here in Nairobi. So thank you guys, and I hope that you are all handling your wounds and that you will make better financial decisions. And of course, make sure that you are investing for your children's children, because that is your call from the powers that be. So thank you very much, and have yourselves a lovely, lovely night. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place, for a different topic. Good night.